This is going to be a little bit different than my usual sortie. It's a matter of speaking, a love letter to the founders of Hello Games, Mr. Sean Murray and Grant Duncan, Ryan Doyle and David Ream, but especially Mr. Sean Murray, who is, if I understand correctly, the driving force, the creator of No Man's Sky. I came to the game somewhat late, about three and a half years ago. Matter of fact, I bought the game about 3 months after my cousin did, and therefore did not get the hollow door for the wooden walls. A minor annoyance. And if you look at my to the boys and girls of Hello Games, and sometimes I hate this game videos, you'll notice that there's a few other things that annoy me about your product. And I think the reason why I'm generally frustrated is because I actually love what you've created. We are currently at the last egg of the first Dragon Emperor, which is one of the featured bases at the Anomaly. And I'm currently in photo mode because there's no background noise. So I apologize if it's a little bit weird just going in circles, but there's method to my madness. I'll be very honest. I was planning, and I still am, to eventually wrap up the game and delete it off the PlayStation, make room for it. Rendering issues are generally much worse during expeditions, or during the period of expeditions, have at times made the game virtually unplayable and caused me to delete a number of bases I had worked for hours and hours on. Then there was Worlds, in which half my bases got wrecked. The first wave, pun intended, and then the second wave, half of the remaining bases got wrecked. There was a glimmer of hope at Beacon until, after 2 months of working on a settlement, I suddenly found myself the same spot that I found myself in the original settlement I had worked on for 2 years. I plateaued. Despite the fact I was welcoming people, the number wasn't going up. And since there's no suggestion in the lore or Reddit or commentaries that you can hand over the base to an overseer once you've reached magical numbers and got S-class and everything, the prospect of not being able to reach 200 settlers and having to deal with immature kids bitching and stealing and fucking each other over ad nauseum, I'm just not that patient. Then we got Voyagers, and a lot of things suggested to me that it had not been properly play tested. That it's so important to put out something now instead of 3 months from now, that a lot of things didn't work too well. And I will acknowledge that a lot of those things have been fixed. The same way I acknowledge all the updates and all the stuff that you've fixed over the years in the game. But it's intellectual. Imagine that. You share something in common with Destiny. You give something and then you take the other thing away. Why is it that newer players can't have the legacy parts? You could literally make it a quest or story thing out of it. But no, we just can't. And a little bit over 3 weeks ago, caught a video. I was killing a bit of time at work because it was quiet. And of course, I was looking at my favorite topic, No Man's Sky. And somebody I've never seen before was complaining about some asshole trying to kill him here. And there had been a number of instances, or not instances, but a number of structures added all over the place. And I checked it out. And this person was not exaggerating. I don't normally play multiplayer. Anything to reduce the strain on the PlayStation to avoid rendering issues is the reasoning. And for the next 2 weeks, I came pretty much every day, and every few days I made a video, and there's been a lot of back and forths in comment sections about how to deal with the issue. And ultimately, I don't care about the rendering problems. I don't care about the fact you've introduced this new weather phenomenon known as localized micro weather. Despite the fact that, like toxic plants, in a lot of places it just does not make any sense concerning the main planetary environment. I don't care. Because sometimes early in the year I will be shelving the game. Once I finish a few bases and explore it a little bit more. And, well, even the best of person might feel a bit defensive after that statement, and your reply might just be, well, I don't care that you don't care. I mean, that's fair, completely. But this isn't about me, and it isn't about anything that I think should be fixed in the game and have not been fixed, despite the fact that they've been an issue for some times. Like the rounded corner piece on cuboids that don't snap into the corner and insist on spinning like a top when you try to put them in place and end up 20 feet under the cuboids or somewhere else entirely. I don't expect you to fix that. What I'm baffled is the fact that these bases are getting griefed. And I mean grief with wild abandon. I've been here with 14 bases, alpha, the one that looks like a Japanese pagoda. I've counted them 17 or 18 bases overlapping that one base. And it's obvious to me that there seems to be some sort of effort made on the part of your staff, because I stopped reporting the bases knowing full well that Sony isn't calling you guys up and saying, hey, this base was built on top of another base, you should be aware of it. They only care if the name of the base is offensive. And of course, by reporting it to Sony, you don't see the base anymore, which of course makes follow-up videos of griefing still going on just a little bit problematic. So having stopped doing that, I did notice that a number of instances, a structure that appeared and I did not report would disappear the next time I came over. So clearly somebody at Hell Games is doing something, but it's a case of whack-a-mole. And I hate to say this, but these people, not only are they vandalizing Crisscross space, not only are they laughing and mocking the other players who, as far as I can tell, are generally a good bunch, but they're basically giving you a huge middle finger. I'm not a programmer, but if Titanfall taught us anything, devs, programmers, people who own video games, companies, are very capable of funneling assholes into a specific iteration where they have to deal with other assholes and leave the rest of the community alone. There was some cheating going on in Titanfall early on, and cheaters got funneled into cheating lobbies. So you're running around with God mode, except everybody else is running around with God mode, and you don't accomplish anything. I'm almost of a scorched earth kind of guy. I mean, to me, better yet is simply the credit card associated with the accounts that are doing this should be blocked. You will never accept another. You will never accept another profile by someone using that credit card number. And if you can, get an IP, although with VPNs that can be problematic. And ban their sorry asses for life. And not just from No Man's Sky, but from every other Hello Games product. A lot of us, quote unquote, the silent majority, are just sick and tired of uncivilized behavior on the part of, well, those who are uncivilized. And I cannot understand. I didn't understand when I was 7 years old, my 5-year-old brother would decide to wreck a little city I built for him just for the fun of seeing me get pissed off. Well, 50 years later, I still don't understand it, why people do this sort of stuff. So I'm hoping that you're not going to be hurt. I'm hoping you're not going to be slighted. And I'm not suggesting you shut down the servers permanently, but maybe you need to shut them down for a week to give your staff time to clean up the featured bases. Put something in place that puts a 1,000 units or 2,000 units exclusion zone around it. I realize there are people in the community who love building mega bases. Several people get together and cooperate. And unless somebody has done that near a featured base, in which case you may want to ask the person to build a featured base if they're okay with it, yes, the simple solution would be an absolute 1,000 unit exclusion zone. And you need to work on this, the various options that allow people to create bases inside somebody else's base. I won't name them in the video because I really don't want to encourage any troll who'd watch the video. Oh, there's this thing I can do to F people up. But I really do hope, sir, that you're pissed off as much as I am with these assholes, and we'll take drastic measure to put an end to it. Thank you for your time.